You're about to watch a video we filmed live on Twitch.
But it's not actually live.
But you can catch us live on twitch.tv/heartboardgames.
So the next time we do it, you need to be there, chatting with us.
Go follow us at twitch.tv/heartboardgames.
Hello and welcome to Arkham, Massachusetts, the scene of a grisly experience. Tonight on iHeartBoardGames, we'll be exploring MYTHOS tales as part of our special iHalloween board games. I am Ronald,
and
the scary, scary Ronald. And I also have with me some other people as well. Oh, I'm doing all kinds of things, you guys. I have some other people here with me. We're so organized, you guys.
And we're fixing sound stuff too. So here we go.
Spoopy, oopy, oopy.
There we go.
Here's some other people.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Melissa.
And together we're iHeartBoardGames.
Despair says you look really pale.
Almost
What was my voice?
Something's missing. I don't know what it is though.
I don't know. I feel
Seems
like
normal to me.
I feel almost like a weight's lifted off my shoulders.
What could it be?
You know.
Travis is invisible!
What's
Yes.
Travis?
What's a Travis? I
I've
don't
never
know.
heard of that.
Who's
before.
I don't
Travis?
know. Travis.
You and I are on the same wavelength, obviously. Hashtag rules log your life. So tonight we're playing a special game, MYTHOS Tales. If you've never heard of this game, this is a investigation game, a cooperative game, if you will. We'll be working together to solve some kind of spooky mystery in the world of H.P. Lovecraft. So, if you're not aware, we are doing all Halloween games this month. If you want to see our entire schedule, you can go on Discord and check that out. But I can tell you this Saturday, we will be playing Fury of Dracula. So definitely check that out at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. As for tonight, with painted minis painted by our own Melissa Sings.
I've got to double check and make sure they're all up to snuff because I painted that way a while back when.
And Travis will be playing the evil one himself, Dracula. 3rd edition.
Today he's not here.
No, he's not here tonight. So tonight we're gonna solve something H.P. Lovecrafty, something Cthulhu-y.
You're gonna help us.
We're glad you guys are here. We definitely need your help because apparently this game is hard. Okay, so all we've been given is a newspaper, a map, a directory, and some information in this little book. Now this is not the book that comes with the retail version of this game. This is an upgraded version. Yeah, usually you just got a little manual, but this one's fancy because we know people.
We
Yeah.
peoples.
We know people.
I know nothing about this game.
Tell us everything. All right.
So if you've ever heard of Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, this is a very similar game to that. It's kind of based around the same idea, except it's in the world of Cthulhu, the world of H.P. Lovecraft. Travula did it.
All right.
Okay, so this says here that we had a meeting with Professor Armitage. He is kind of the Inspector General in the world of Arkham.
Hey, River.
Hey, River!
Hey! And it says specifically, unless there are surprises, I foresee visiting between 6 to 11 locations in order to answer most of the questions regarding the current mystery. However, you are a bit rusty and it's possible other interesting facts will present themselves in the course of your investigation. So take your time if you think it's necessary, but please wrap up your investigation no later than day 5 afternoon. So we have a time tracker right here. This is where we currently are, day 1 morning, and we need to try to solve the mystery by day 5 afternoon.
Deadlines, people. Deadlines.
Basically, we're going to be reading through this story, and it's going to tell us to consult this map, this newspaper, this directory, to try and solve the murder. But there's also at the end going to be just questions, and it might be like, who ate the piece of cake? But it also might be like,
The
who
cake
committed the murder?
is alive.
Who broke the window? And we're like, what window? There was a broken window, so we have to make sure we kind of explore everything carefully. And then we'll be able to see how Professor Armitage did it and compare ourselves. And no doubt, we'll suck compared to
Right,
him.
of course. Because he does it perfectly. He knows exactly where to go.
He makes
He's
some
involved
leaps.
somehow, likely.
He leaves the key under the mat.
So, we're ready to start with some of the story here. Jesse, do you want to read it out to us?
Hey, put my name in the directory.
Your name is in this book.
I know. All right. A grain of evil. Let's go to the...
That's what I was just about to suggest.
There we go. Back to this. A grain of evil. Investigation 1 in Arkham, Massachusetts. June 30th, 1929.
Should I take notes?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
June 20th, 1989.
June 30th.
Oh, I'm off to a great
Oh
start.
my gosh.
Wait, June.
The 80s were over.
Wait, June what? 1929?
1929.
1929.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
June 30.
June
Oh,
30th.
from 2020. Yes.
19,
I had just got my hoverboard.
1929. Okay.
All right. Responding eagerly to a telegram from your friend and mentor, you rush to the Miskatonic University Orne Library. There is a warm summer breeze gently rustling the trees. That rhymes. Allowing the dappled sunlight to flicker lightly onto the streets. You cross the university quadrant to reach a great Gothic entrance. Professor Henry Armitage.
Wait, Professor.
Yeah, I don't think you have to write him down. Hey, Whiskey Nick.
Hey, Whiskey Nick. Miskatonic's erudite librarian greets you at a polished wooden door to his office. He leans on his cane, his wrinkled face cracking into a smile. Well then, I have an interesting little problem for us to explore. It has been some time since we exercised your deductive faculties. I'm old. So how about a simple mystery to get you going again?
Thanks, Professor. We'll take it.
Oh boy, I can't wait. I sure hope we don't die.
Thanks, Professor.
Wait, when did Deckard Cain enter the story? Stay a while and listen.
Or Roger Cube.
If it weren't for those meddling kids.
Well, now I'm going to go into Deckard Game. Obviously, there's a chance that the events last night, or last evening, I'm old, involved more than a simple crime. But I do not believe that to be the case. However, after my experience of last summer, one can never be too careful.
What happened I know what you did last summer.
He walks away.
Keeper. See, I take notes. I'm not the traitor.
He shudders visibly
Ooh.
upon alluding to his confrontation with the Watleys in the village of Dunwich.
Oh, Watley's in Dunwich. If you guys are a fan of H.P. Lovecraft, you know what that means.
Armitage settles in his chair, adjusting the violets on his desk. Inspector Garrison called over breakfast this morning and
Inspector Garrison.
Oh, Inspector Garrison.
precipitated my note to your good self. It seems the inspector's at a loss and requires our specialist assistance. Last evening, as you may have noted from this morning's edition of the Arkham Advertiser,
We'll be reading this carefully.
a disturbance occurred on West High Street.
West High Street.
It was a pleasant enough evening, and at 7 o'clock the streets were relatively full. A young woman, well-dressed and of seemingly good health, collapsed on the sidewalk after emerging in a state of distress from the Uptown Park.
High Street. Cheryl, not Pie Street. Pie Street.
She was so full from all the apple and pecan and peach.
But I love the way you think.
And she decided she could fit one more meat pie. After all those sweets, she was done.
3.14 more meat pies.
Right.
Pie
A
street.
small crowd gathered to assist the young lady. An orderly from St. Mary's Hospital and his wife stooped to revive her, and a policeman was found. The orderly noticed a growing crimson stain seeping onto the woman's blouse.
Uh-oh.
He slit the garment free with his pocket knife. At once, the horrific nature of the wound in the lady's chest was apparent, and he stemmed the steadily increasing flow of blood. We're like, hey students, here's the crimey-wimey. Go for that. There was a murder.
There was a murder! A murder on Pie Street!
Pie Street murder.
The way you said Pie Street sounded like pastry.
Oh.
Pie Street?
Pie Street! Pie Street!
I'm happy to report that disaster was averted by his quick thinking. An ambulance arrived in good time to take her to the hospital, and they have managed to stabilize her condition. So she's alive at the hospital.
She's alive!
We should go and talk to her.
Probably. The librarian pauses to sip coffee from a delicate cup and takes a bite of delicious pie.
Oh, yum, yum, yum.
The policeman
kind of pie?
assumed what
What kind of pie?
Oh
Quick,
my god,
investigate the pie.
chat is too good today.
Apple pie!
Pillsbury Doughboy did it.
The policeman assumed this was an attack by an unknown assailant until the woman regained consciousness momentarily in the ambulance. Hey, Damage One. Ooh, your name's glowing. Why is your name glowing?
Green. So wait a minute, she came back to 2? What happened in the ambulance?
She came to in the
She
ambulance.
regained consciousness, I said.
Okay. I'm old, I can't hear well.
She raved nonsensical syllables before crying out that the trees were alive! Alive!
The trees were alive.
The trees were alive! Alive!
While stealing with the mysterious lady,
The trees were alive.
the policeman was sharp-eyed enough to spot a man lingering in the crowd of onlookers. The man was acting in a furtive way,
Furtive.
watching the proceedings with a curious detachment.
Detachment, oh no.
He was tall, over 6 feet,
Over 6 feet tall.
with a worn brown suit and dark hair,
Dark hair, brown suit.
and
Dark
a
hair, brown
distinctive
Dark hair. brown
birthmark
A
suit.
birthmark.
Hair,
under
brown
his
suit.
left eye.
Under his left eye, birthmark.
Birthmark. Under.
Everybody getting this?
Birthmark. Under left eye.
When the policeman called out to the man, he
I
fled the
wish
scene.
I was
Being preoccupied with the lady, the policeman was not able to pursue, and noted a description in his
It
pocket.
was Mike Murphy.
Armitage sits back, the leather of his chair creaking. He steeples his fingers. The identity of both the woman and this mysterious fugitive remain a mystery. It is also for us to determine if there are forces beyond the mundane at work. You
Such
better
as-
get going.
Oh.
You'll miss the die. No.
Please go. Please.
Let Garrison's men take care of the crime scene. They do get rather protective. Before you set off, Armitage says, remember, if you need to come see me, if you need help, come see me at my home. I am unlikely to be in my office when working a case.
Where's his home?
We
It's in
have
the
a
directory.
list over here of places we can go also.
Oh yeah, that too.
And was it the trees were
Did you
alive or the
forgot?
trees are alive?
Yeah, was it the trees are alive or were alive?
She was crying. The trees were alive. Alive!
Well, because that's
He was a
past tense.
crusty individual.
Well, it's past tense versus present tense. Are alive, were alive. So it's that could.
Okay, well, what should we do?
Was it
Where
all
to?
Here's
alive,
West High
so
Street right here.
alive?
There's only, I don't know, 50 different buildings on it.
Let's go to the hospital and question the woman.
Oh, we could go to the hospital. I'll check the directory to see where the hospital might be located.
And I'm writing down, man in the crowd, over 6 foot tall, dark hair, brown suit, a crusty individual.
Crusty individual.
Birthmark under
Quite
left
the
eye.
shell of a man.
Individual. A shell of a man.
Could not pair with anyone.
How do I find it?
Man.
How do I find it?
You found what?
The
The
hospital.
hospital?
So look up the hospital in the book like a normal thing, and then the little number will be where the location is.
Look it up under St. Mary's.
Was that the name of the hospital? Yeah.
St. Mary's Teaching Hospital. That's C11.
C11.
St. Mary's Teaching Hospital.
What do you think the key?
Oh, C11 is right here. This is the hospital. It's not too far from High Street, actually.
Oh, great.
Pie
So
Street.
now we look up.
This is now Pie Street.
So now we're gonna look up
2 blocks from High Street.
2 blocks from Pie Street.
Now, do we need to review the newspaper before we continue on?
Probably. What do we see?
2 cents. Very
Yeah.
cheap paper.
Yeah. Today's forecast: sunny spells
That's
with a
fishy.
light easterly breeze. Temperatures of 65. Thought for the day: do not waver or slide back 2 paces with 1 step forward.
Okay.
2 steps forward, I take 2 steps back. We come together because opposites attract.
All right. Well, I think that's something we can review while we go over
I'll
things.
look at the paper.
I don't know what that means right there.
Yeah, there's some weird typing going on in there.
Yeah, that's really bizarre.
Browns
could
of
mean something
Arkham
later.
saw a missing
Could
child. Do not follow to 6 Main Street.
Do not follow to 6 Main Street. Or 6 Main
Okay.
Street.
Well, we're not
Where's
worried
Ma-
about that
where's
right
Main
now.
Street?
Yeah.
Just something to keep in mind. And we might have something that says, go to 6 Main Street.
Well, because that's
Do
how I
not
read
follow.
it. Look, Browns of Arkham saw a missing child. Do not follow to 6 Main Street. I mean, that's how I read it. Put it all together.
Wow.
All right. All right. Here we go.
So
we're going to
C11.
C11.
Was the hospital. Do we have a listing for C? So every time we move, we have to move this. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
See if there's
Something like
anything about what
Yeah, I
happened.
think it's just one move.
So we discussed where we should go.
Yep.
You can, but if you're the active player, which you are right now, then you can choose. You don't have to listen to us.
Oh, well, I figure we just play it like,
Oh,
like
wait.
we agree on
Today's
things.
June 30th.
So yes, we advance this once we've
June
selected.
30th, 1929.
All right. It is day 1 afternoon. I guess Monday.
Yes, day 1 afternoon.
Armitage often mentions his friend, Dr. Vincent Sutton, as being a useful point of contact at the hospital.
Dr. Sutton at the hospital.
And you ask for the doctor at the front desk. The stern administration assistant frowns at your request, but dispatches a message to Sutton all the same. After you wait for what seems like an age, Dr. Sutton appears and greets you in a detached and professional manner. He is in his mid-40s, and his clean-shaven head amplifies the size of his thick, horn-rimmed glasses.
Bald with glasses.
He allows a cursory nod when you tell him the reason for your visit.
Glasses.
Of course, Armitage told me to expect you, he says. You explain that you are investigating the mysterious case of the woman brought into the hospital after her collapse at the park. It is not my case, but let's head up to the wards and see what we can find out. Sutton leads you through the white halls, weaving in and out of foot traffic. On the way up, he asks whether Armitage expressed interest in the lights dancing around at the nearby Emperor home,
Lights dancing at the Emperor home.
which is Emperor Mance, we discovered in the FAQ.
Yes, Emperor
Dancing.
Mance.
And the
Some of the hospital workers have seen them, and the old building is supposed to be abandoned.
Mance?
When you
Mance,
tell him that
M-A-N-S-E.
Armitage hasn't mentioned it, the doctor shrugs. You arrive at Ward 6, and Dr. Sutton makes his way down a row of beds, stopping at the foot of one containing an attractive young woman.
Ooh, hi.
The woman is sleeping soundly, and Sutton lifts the chart from the end of the bed and consults the notes. We still don't have her name. She's listed here as Jane Doe.
Jane Doe.
Strange, the wound on her chest was deep, likely created by a sharp blade cutting into the flesh. However, 5 of the upper ribs on the left side were also fractured during the incident.
Got that.
It's as though someone
5 left ribs were fractured.
It's as though someone removed or was attempting to remove something from her chest cavity.
Ugh.
Most unusual. Hey,
Thank you,
Slivers!
Slivers! I tried to make sure you got that notice today.
That's funny. It's supposed to make the other noise.
Whoa, Black Betty, bam a lamb. Whoa, Black Betty, bam a lamb.
Supposed to play the music.
Bam a lamb.
Maybe they're hearing it, maybe just we aren't.
No, I think I know what happened.
Where's the text to speech, he says.
You're right. That's the other thing that's supposed to happen. I'll fix it next time. As you can see, we did some stuff with the layout because I had to switch to a new setup. And yeah, that's all part of it. Let's sigh. Yeah. I can't fix it right now.
Sorry.
Whoa, Black Betty,
We'll fix it for
bam a
next
lamb.
time.
Whoa, Black Betty, bam a lamb.
You get Melissa singing it instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Consolation.
Melissa will be the text to speech.
Yes, I will be text to speak for tonight. Yay!
All
What have we
right.
got to something too?
Let's see. Something. Yeah, trying to move something from her chest
left
cavity.
wrist
Most
fracture.
unusual.
Someone was trying to remove something from her chest, like her heart.
Uh-oh. You have something to read now.
Where do zombie babies come from?
I heard it.
Where
heard it.
do zombie babies come from?
Did you guys hear it? I heard it.
Oh, it's probably kind of low because of the music. Let me flip that around.
It's just really quiet, he said.
From zombie mommies and daddies.
Where do zombie babies come from?
That was louder, right?
I never saw the toy like that.
That's better, Blood Boiler said.
Cute.
Trying to remove something
From a chest cavity.
from her chest.
Dr. No Yes,
Really?
Noyes.
Oh.
How would you say that?
Noise?
Noyes? I think it's funnier if you say No Yes. Dr. No Yes conducted the surgery to reset the bones.
No MHW right now?
Right now, I'll check.
What does that mean?
That's a Monster Hunter world.
Oh, okay.
No monster hunters here. We're on.
Nope, they're not monster hunters. Just me.
We're on the trail. The MYTHOS trail.
Speaking of unusual, Dr. No Yes
No, yes.
cleared away a good deal of brownish colored mucus from the wound. He sent a sample to the lab. The lab assistant was sent to the university library to consult medical treatises as they were unsure of what substance consisted. I feel like of should be in there. Pascal knows about strange things as well.
Pascal? Pascal? How do you
Also-
spell that?
Pasquale.
Oh, Pascal Fenton. He's Arkham's resident occultist and spiritualist. We can go visit him if we need to.
Also, the university library, in case we want to talk to this the lab assistant,
Oh, the library for the lab assistant. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We should write that down.
As Sutton ends his speech, a nurse arrives to administer a shot.
Not a nurse.
No sooner is the needle withdrawn from the woman's arm, she thrashes in her bed. Sutton doesn't look concerned, and he pats the nurse on the shoulder. The discomfort will quickly pass. Then, shockingly, the woman's eyes snap open, and she screams a piercing shriek. So piercing.
R.I.P. earphones.
Sutton calls for help as the woman raves madness, spittle dripping from her chin. Only at Bayfriars. But no, not there. The trees. Why are they walking? Edward! Where's my Edward? Why do the trees have eyes? Edward! We were supposed to meet at the bell. Why are you here, Edward? It hurts, Edward. Stop it! Stop it!
Okay, there was a lot of clues in there. And she's over here reenacting it.
Edward, stop!
There was Bayfriars.
Bayfriars.
That's where they were supposed to meet.
At the bell at Bayfriars.
At the bell. I don't know what you're talking about, Slivers. Everything seems normal to me.
Someone just
Maybe that's part of the mystery.
I thought about putting
Who are you?
the shower dude there.
Oh.
Say that for later.
Now they're all like, shower dude, what?
Sutton steps in and holds the woman's shoulders, talking to her in a calm, soothing voice. After a few minutes of delirium, the woman slips into a peaceful rest. She's really been through the mill, Sutton says.
Wait, she went to a mill?
The wound will heal just fine given time. However, as you have seen firsthand, there are some scars that are beyond our ability to repair. You have learned all you can from the good doctor. Her effects were taken for examination by the police.
Oh.
I think they were taken over to the criminologist Dr. Corbett.
Dr. Corbett.
Yeah, that's
I know him.
Corbett.
Yes, we have his location here as well.
Please let me know if you discover her identity. I'd like to contact family members. She needs someone to look after her.
Okay.
Why do the trees have eyes?
I heard it was the hills that had eyes.
Evidently the trees got them too.
All right.
So, we have a lot of leads. We need to figure out what we want to do.
And just take some time in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright, alright. Hopefully.
Hopeful. Let me hear if this works.
That shows creepy.
Hello. Whoa, Black Betty Bam Bar Lamb.
Whoa, oh, Black Betty Bam Alam.
So 3 families had twins last night. The Smiths, the Baxters, and the Ahos.
Oh, the what?
Ahos.
That's rude. No. All right. Where to? We have choices. The Bayfriars, whatever that is. We can visit.
Visit that
Corbett.
library.
We can go to Corbett, for his forensic expertise.
We
We can go to Pasquale, which I heard Slivers said we should go check him out for sure. So I think that's a good idea.
Pasquale.
Pasquale
Also, there were
Fenton.
the lights at the Emperor home, but I don't know if
Yes,
that's related.
Emperor Mance.
Yeah.
Yes. I think we should start with Pasquale Fenton.
Pasquale. All I wrote was visit. So.
Yes, he's the occultist and spiritualist. He
Oh.
meddles in forces that would be
He
better
might-
off to avoid.
He might know what this brown colored mucus from the wound might be.
He might.
And why was that
All right.
significant?
Where to?
So that would be L4.
L4. Oh, we gotta go ways. We're gonna be walking. Look at this.
L4's right here.
So we're here.
C11. We're going to L4. So we're decided to move, so we're going to slip this down.
We're here.
Armitage has little good to say about the odious little man that is Pasquale Fenton, Arkham's most celebrated occultist. He and Armitage have had a lifelong rivalry. Too much the showman and, some might argue, charlatan for most tastes. However, Pascal manages to make an impressive living. His mansion is tawdry and garish, decorated with a vast collection of the occult, including deformities in jars, unusual medical devices, and jewelry that evokes satanic ritual. He invites you in cordially enough, but the smirk that appears on his arrogant face when he learns the reason behind your call raises his hackles. Oh, so now I am consulted on this matter. I would have thought that bumbling idiot Garrison would have come in himself, rather than sending his protege. Biting your tongue, you explain the wound on the young lady, and why the police would be concerned. Pascal realizes he is being a bit nasty, and changes his tone. Trees. She went on...
Exactly, Sam and Cheryl.
Hey, Sam!
Hey, guys.
Zip. Trees. She went on about being attacked by trees, did she? I would suggest that you may have stumbled upon cultists of Shub Niggurath. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. Also known as... yeah, the occultist as... Does that sound right to you guys? I made a living doing this, but yeah. Also known as the Black Goat with 1,000 young.
Oh, yes, the black goat.
There are mutterings of a certain dark rituals that, well, her followers use a sacrificial victim to host the spawn from unholy seed to infant. The wound on this woman may be that, or maybe she's just insane.
You need to allow his message to come through.
Beep, 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 beep. The mad abound in Arkham, as I guess you have heard from the stories. That would be a better guess. Pascal pauses, and you encourage him to tell you more about Shub Niggurath. He is a bit reluctant to share his knowledge, but it continues. A spawn of Shub Niggurath is sliced free from the flesh of the host and brought into this world to wreak whatever horrors it may. Investigate the witch cults in Arkham if you truly want to go down this path. It very well may be that this lady who was attacked is delusional from some poison, or she made it up altogether. You ask what the spawn is likely to do, if indeed it has been born into the world. Pascal bites his lower lip. For now, nothing. The spawn will take a number of years to fully mature. The texts speak of this creature often attacking domesticated animals, particularly dogs and cats. Even in seed form, the animals can sense their evil presence. With this, you thank Pascal for his insights and leave.
So, the cult of the black goat, eh? So was that what was up with... There was someone earlier who was that color, that neon green?
That was a damage one. I think he just chose that color on... Yeah, because you could choose what color.
Oh, okay, all right. I just want to make sure. Buggin' who? There's the buggin' who.
There's a second edition that a lot of things were fixed. In fact, I think everything was addressed. This is the first edition, so we do have the FAQ handy. But yeah, second edition, everything was fixed. And then later this year, or actually maybe next year, Gray Fox Games is releasing a new copy of it. So you might get to enjoy once again.
Well, so we found out it might be related to this ancient evil, the black goat from the woods with 1,000 youngs.
Black goat.
That's a well-known part of the mythos.
It's a well-known mythos tale.
Yes. I've not read any of the stories, but I played Arkham Horror a lot of times, so I'm familiar with all these different places and things because they all make an appearance in the game, of course, and he's pretty bad.
I think we got a while while he hunts domesticated
animals. Well, that's the end of our first day. Where should we go for our start of day 2? I know you said something about Corbett, the criminologist.
Tartanovsky's Bakery, the best in Arkham. Pie! pies.
More pies.
Pies!
More pie talk.
Pies, breads, and other assorted pastry.
I'm also interested in the witches. I heard you say something about checking in with the
Yes,
witches.
Yeah, that guy told us to check with the witches. Maybe they're in the
Women
yellow
attacked
pages.
an uptown park. A disturbance
See if I can look
occurred
up
around
Coven.
7 p.m. last night in West High Street.
Yeah. Where's your local coven?
When a young woman collapsed, bystanders were able to provide assistance to the woman, who was obviously in distress and grievously injured. The police were summoned and were quickly on the scene. An ambulance took the young woman, who has yet remained unnamed, to St. Mary's Hospital for further treatment.
There is a listing in the directory called Witch House.
Oh, let's go there.
Totally not kidding.
Man found dead following party. This paper's all kinds of little tidbits. With the owners of the Imperial home, be sure to secure the property as
Witch
workers
house?
from
Yeah,
the
there is a witch
hospital
house in
have
here.
seen Lights on the third.
Which is a location in Arkham. That
Sounds
is
like
known to
a-
me.
Witch time.
Sounds like a
Maybe
Disney
read more
made for
from the
TV
newspaper
movie.
That's a
about
little on
me.
the nose, though, if you ask me.
Bye.
Witch house is the witch house.
Witch house is the witch house.
Do we want to go check out the witch house?
It seems like they might be worth checking out.
Well, it's located at F11.
Witch house?
Melissa, what do you think about going to the witch house?
Did you just say the lights on the third floor of Emperor House?
Yes, Emperor Mance. Yes.
Yeah, Emperor Mance or Emperor Housing.
Oh, yeah. I bet
There was
we
a
could-
FAQ that said that's kind of the same thing for this one as
So
Emperor.
this is Emperor Home.
Yeah,
Yes.
Emperor Home or Emperor Mance is the same thing. So what does it say about it?
With the owners of the Emperor home, be sure to secure the property, as workers from the hospital have seen lights on the third floor.
Which they've mentioned.
Um,
Nothing
well,
good
it's
ever
not
happens
in
at F11.
here. The Emperor Mance is not located. It's not in this book. Unless it's under something else. There is something called that's an Emperor. W Emperor. I don't know what that means.
All mentions of Emperor House should be read as Emperor Mance. Yeah, the workers saw the lights. So, oh, look on the actual map. Where's the hospital?
The hospital is C11.
So, with C8, did they say it was across the street?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, the crime happened on West High Street, so maybe they mean across the street this way.
Oh yeah, you won.
Look up red herring. That might be the red herring.
It's true.
What do you think, Melissa? My vote is for the witch house.
Then go party at the witch house.
The only other place we might want to visit is the library to talk to the lab assistant, but
Is that Corbett?
No, that's the lab assistant that went to the university library.
What was his name?
I don't think they had a name.
Then how are we supposed to find him?
Because they're at the library.
library.
At the library?
University library.
Or we could go to Bayfriars, the Bell at Bayfriars. To see
There's not a library listed at the university.
Should go to the island in the middle. The Unvisited Isle, M9.
there was
Who
something
said
at
that?
the Unvisited Isle. I feel like I read something about that.
Sounds
That-
scary.
That I know all about from the other game.
The Unvisited Isle? Oh, nice. I know nothing. Alright, so where are we
Is it a
going?
library?
Where to?
Witch house?
Which house? Let's do which house. What's the number?
I think it was something 11.
Something 11.
Which...
Welcome to the witch house. I feel like a musical should start with that.
F11.
F11. Not in here.
Okay, well that counts as us trying to go somewhere.
Oh, it does?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. We arrive and there's nothing there. Alright, so the witch house was
A bust.
nothing. Yeah.
Well, we can go talk to Corbett, the criminologist. He was mentioned in something. Dr. Corbett.
Yeah. What's his location?
D45.
I don't even know what we're playing. We're playing Mythos Tales. It's we're trying to figure out a mystery type of thing. We found a woman whose chest was
Cut up.
and trying to get to the bottom of it because we
It had
are.
some brown ooze in
We
it.
have brown colored mucus from the wound.
It's like an episode of Scooby Doo.
Yes.
Where was she found? She was found in that street, and they told us not to go to the crime scene.
She was found on West High Street.
Yeah, they said don't go to the crime scene because the police are
Yeah.
possessive.
They
What's
did
the number again?
D45?
D45. You rap on the door to Herbert Corbett's lab, and after a moment you are greeted by his helper. He recognizes you and shows you through Corbett's workroom. A workroom is a chemistry lab with several Bunsen burners blazing away. Oh, the workroom. Herbert is huddled over a bench. On his head he wears a magnifying apparatus. Like that. Which he lifts to greet you. Welcome to my criminology laboratory! He shakes your hand, sensing that the man is kept very busy. You don't waste any time with pleasantries and ask about the attack on the woman in Uptown Park. Ah yes, a strange one. I believe that I could shed some light on her lodgings, if nothing else.
Good.
We'll speak.
Corbett reveals a brown cardboard box.
Brown cardboard box.
Oh, he has her effects.
Garrison left these for me to examine. The blouse, as you can see, is saturated with blood from a wound made in her chest. I was interested to note that the blouse was not damaged before she was administered first aid.
Wait, hold on. So she was stabbed, but her blouse was not damaged.
Correct. So she removed it.
Or
This
it was-
suggests that the blouse was put on the woman after the injury occurred.
Or she was not injured in a traditional manner. Slivers.
So she was naked. More revealing is the lady's purse, which contains an address. Here. He rummages in the box. This is a bill from Brenny's boarding house, and a receipt confirming that she had paid for the next month's rent. In advance. What's wrong with your friend?
It don't take much. Too much wine. All right. Okay. All right. It'll be all right. You're gonna be okay.
There is a receipt as well from the bookstore.
The bookstore. The bookstore.
There's a note here,
Alright, I'm good.
like an illustrated note
Bookstore.
in the book.
Oh, there's a note.
It says Meredith's used books. $3 received with thanks for Coleridge's collected
Books.
poems.
Coleridge's collected poems.
To be inscribed on the inside cover with To Edward with all my love.
Edward, stop
M.
it!
M.
M.
That's her name. Her name starts with an M.
M, and then it says XXX.
Maybe she's the Meredith woman.
Almost looks like it.
Where did we hear about? Oh, Meredith was the name of the bookstore.
Yeah, maybe she's Meredith.
So we have the boarding house location in here, and we have the bookstore location in here.
Oh yeah, maybe they got a bill from her or something like that.
Maybe they could tell us something about her when she came in to get that book of poetry.
Yeah.
Obviously, she got the book of poetry for Edward, her fella.
Her fella that she was meeting. That's right. The voice was
Charlie horse.
It was an exact replica of Travis's voice.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Someone give a listen. I've been broken.
So what do you think? Should we go to her house, her boarding house, or should we go to the bookstore where she bought?
I say the boarding house because there's a bill, so they could tell us who this woman is with the M.
You agree?
Sure.
Rennie's boarding house is F16.
F16.
Ding, ding.
Ding ding.
The 3-story clapperboard house on Lich Street is neat and presentable.
Lich Street. Lich Street?
Which street?
Which street?
Lich Street.
Lich Street.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Dun dun dun. What? Lich Street, like a dead necromancer wizard.
Have you been writing down all the places we went?
So
Are they all in the same area or something?
No, but there is another one in this area that we went to.
we went to the Pascal place. We went to the hospital.
You could use the tokens for that.
We tried to go to the witch house, but there was no witch house. Then we went to the Corbett place, where the chemistry lab was, and now we're at the boarding house.
the Dr. Seuss one.
Well, you forgot about Fenton.
Vinton. Where do we go to a Vinton?
Pasquale?
Well, that's a Pascal. That's Pasquale.
I will not eat with a lich. I will not meet with a witch.
Okay,
tried to
so
go
we're
to
at
the house, but we
F16
couldn't
right now
go.
on Lich Street. It's right across from this F00.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Giant
Something
nothing.
very weird.
Alright.
Store, a warehouse, a storehouse.
A small sign advertises that Rennie's boarding house has vacant rooms.
Oh.
You are greeted at the front desk by one of Rennie's twins, Thomas. A friendly man in his 30s with a mop of dark hair. Are you wanting to rent a room?
Oh my god.
You describe the woman in the hospital who was attacked, explaining that she had a receipt for payment for one of his rooms.
Well, that sounds a lot, very much like Martha Modine.
Martha Modine! Martha Modine! Alert! Alert! Alert!
Martha!
She has been with us for over a year now.
Dane.
I believe she works on Main Street,
Main Street.
She works on Main Street.
in one of the stores.
She works at a store on Main Street. Main Street is very long.
I do hope she's okay.
Maybe
She's got a kind heart.
What about this bakery?
Always willing to do a kindness for a stranger. She's smitten as well, having recently fallen in love with a man named Mr. Hartwell.
Edward Hartwell.
Hartwell.
We can find his house. We can go to see him.
Don't care for him too much.
Oh.
Surly eyes. Makes my dogs bark every time he's around.
I found him.
Oh, we found him. Yeah, let's go.
My dogs never bark. Clearly, young Martha can see redeeming qualities, I suppose.
You ask if you may see Martha's room, and he agrees, striding past you, brandishing a pass key. Martha's room is modest but well kept, and pleasantly decorated. On a small bookcase there are several works of poetry. A photograph in a frame on the mantel catches your eye. You walk over and examine it. It is the picture of a lady and gentleman. And there could be no doubt that this is the woman that Armitage described. The couple gazing lovingly at one another with that faraway, dreamy look of a romance novel. The man has a small birthmark under his left eye.
Wait. What did we learn about birthmark? Something about a birthmark. Oh, that was the guy that ran away.
Yep.
He was in the crowd and he ran away.
Trying. Wait. Where is it?
He sacrificed her.
Here it is. Man in a crowd. Over 6 foot tall, dark hair, brown suit, a crusty individual. Birthmark. Birthmark under
That was mentioned.
left eye.
That's him. Edward Hartwell.
Oh, that crusty individual.
Thomas says,
That's them. Martha and Hartwell, though he looks as though butter wouldn't melt his mouth, unlike her.
You ask for more information on Hartwell, and Rennie tells you that Hartwell has been seeing Martha for several weeks, and that he had a house on the lower south side on East Stoutenstall Street.
East Stoutenstall.
Well, yeah, he's at L26. That's on East Dalton Street.
Hates pies.
Hates pies.
That's what we've confirmed.
CIA covered.
Tall man hates pie.
No.
All right, so we're gonna go pursue him, huh?
Well, I don't
He's
know
the
if we
man
need to
in
go
the
to the
crowd.
bookstore
6 foot
first, or
tall.
if we need to
Dark.
just go right to him.
Dark hair.
I think we should pursue him.
Crusty.
I think we should too.
Birthmark
There's
on
2
the-
Hartwells in here, but we know he's Edward. Because
Right.
we learned that earlier.
Correct.
So that's L26. I'm proceeding us to day 3. It's morning again, and we're ready to
So tomorrow
catch
morning we go.
a
We're
murderer.
not gonna catch him. We're gonna question him. Where is he? L23.
L26.
I don't think we were deputized by.
You have the right to remain silent. Easy.
All right.
We could have gone to the bakery, had ourselves some morning pie.
Morning pie. We'll have some late night pie.
Okay, late night pie.
Edward Hartwell's home is average and unassuming. A cat draws your attention as you step forward to knock on the door. The mangy feline is backing away from the basement window. The poor creature's eyes are wide, and its back is arched, standing on end.
You know what's down there? What did it say about the animals will know?
That's true.
The animals will know, even whenever it's still just a
yeah.
seed.
It said something about. Wait. I took a note. Chemistry lab. Trees.
Okay. It's hissing in the most
Attacks
fearsome
domestic
way.
animals. That's what it said.
You knock on the door, and when there is no reply, you knock again. As minutes tick by, you decide a closer inspection of the rear of the property might be in order. After all, if his lady was injured, there's a chance that someone may have attempted to injure Edward Hartwell as well. The yard at the back of the building is well tended, and the fence is new and painted. The back door is unlocked. Stealing inside quickly so you are not observed, you find yourself in a clean and tidy kitchen.
Clean, tidy kitchen.
The cutlery and plates are neatly washed and stacked on the drying board.
No pie in sight. There is not a pie in sight.
Pie detectives!
Good question, Whiskey Nick.
Right. And we won't be arrested either.
The door was open.
The attention to tidiness continues in each room. A pile of mail addressed to Edward Hartwell sits on a small table near the front door. Remembering the cat, you discover a small cellar door in the kitchen and head down into the basement, where a bare flickering bulb illuminates a small workroom.
Uh-oh.
Discarded under a workbench is a small broken packing crate stamped with the Miskatonic Museum's address.
Miskatonic Museum.
Oh, that was in this newspaper. Miskatonic Museum. Mr. Victor Ingram is scheduled to arrive in Arkham any day now. A senior curator from the Boston Museum, Victor Ingram, is scheduled to visit the Miskatonic Exhibit Museum.
All right. On the bench lies a wickedly sharp, straight-bladed dagger etched with unusual symbols
Unusual symbols.
Sharp
on its
blade
wooden
wound.
hilt.
There's unusual symbols on the wooden hilt.
Wooden hilt.
The razor-sharp blade reveals flecks of red stain. Next to the dagger is a bowl, also stained dark red.
There's a blood red bowl. Now, what was the Miskatonic Museum?
There was a small packing crate stamped with the Miskatonic Museum's address.
It's not in here.
I'm guessing these people stole it off the front porch or something.
That Miskatonic Museum?
I'll check it out after.
Okay.
Your stomach lurches at the uncomfortable thought that these are the implements that injured the woman at the hospital. A few pieces of old parchment with indecipherable crabbed handwriting lie scattered nearby.
Parchment with handwriting.
Placed next to the parchment is an open wooden box containing 4 large grain seeds.
Those are the
Four,
seeds. They specifically
large
said they were seeds.
Grain seeds.
Each is about the length of your fingernail and jet black.
Black seeds, the length of a fingernail.
Leaving everything as you found it, you exit the property the way you came.
Ooh, this horrible's up to no good. Crusty individual.
It is called a grain of evil. This particular mystery.
4 large grain seeds.
Actually doesn't mention. What were you looking for? The Miskatonic thing?
Museum.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not mentioned here.
Symbols, wooden hilt, blade, dagger. They said sharp blade wound.
What was her name?
What's the real murder? Every time she goes somewhere, someone gets killed. Maybe we're the murderers.
I know her name started with an M.
I always thought that Angela
grain
Lansbury
seeds.
from the show Murder was the
Martha
real
Modine.
murderer. Every time she goes somewhere, someone gets killed.
Martha Modine is not even in here.
What?
Isn't that her name?
Yeah,
Martha
Martha-
Modine?
Yep,
How did you
Martha
spell Modine?
Modine.
Oh,
Like Matthew.
No, she's not in here. And neither is the Miskatonic Museum.
It's not in the back, like where the special locations are.
I mean, I looked back here. I didn't see it in any of these categories. Transportation, stores, schools, sports, clubs, residential, restaurants, private companies.
Did I say she has some kind of shop on Main Street?
She works at a shop on Main Street.
Let's go to this pastry place.
What makes you think that she works there?
It says stop by our shop today. It's a shop. Where's the bakery? Is it
It's
on Main
the only
Street?
shop. You just want pie.
I just want. We're gonna have pie after this. Get me some pie.
Actually, no. It's on Church Street.
All
But
right.
thanks for asking.
All right.
Clubs, schools.
What about this thing? Browns of Arkham saw a missing child. Do not follow to 6 Main Street. Oh, wait, this paper thing's on Main Street. That's probably what this is for. That's another date.
I don't know, I was just seeing if the format was the same. Why did you say that name? Oh, Martha. Why did you say that name?
Save Martha.
You never seen that.
No.
So,
I only know what you told me.
graveyard, hotels,
Mother!
law firms, local lifestyle. Not there. Local government, medical facilities,
So we don't know where the place is then. Okay.
local culture, the Arkham Historical Society, but I don't see. What was it? Miskatonic Museum.
Yeah.
Well, this person,
Is it part of
Mr.
the
Victor
university?
Ingram, is supposed to go there any day now to the
Can I
Miskatonic
examine?
Exhibit Museum.
You want to switch books?
Yeah, we can. There is a university Miskatonic section, which is the C's.
There you go. Let's see.
Let's see. Indeed. June 30th, 1929. Professor librarian with a cane goes to his home.
Oh, we can also go to Armitage's home and ask him for assistance if we want.
What is Watley's in Dunwich? That's the people he was like arguing with, huh?
The Arkham Historical Society.
Yeah. It's L1. Just saw it in here.
There's also a shady fellow who can tell us about unsavory places.
Strange that they would mention a museum and not have it in.
And there's a guy
Maybe go to
who's
the
a keeper of
library,
legal
maybe.
documents. Oh, we could go to the bookshop that she bought the poetry book from.
Oh, yeah, the Meredith's used books.
That's definitely in there. Under stores.
So what we want to do? Bookshop?
We can.
Bookshop.
Under stores, you said?
Yeah.
And what's it called?
Meredith's used books.
Meredith's used books is M50.
M50?
Correct. Hey,
Thank you, Ballad.
Thank you for the follow.
What was
So
the
that
number?
sound worked.
What was the number?
M50. Martha 50.
Okay.
Meredith.
3 months. Thank you for 3 months of support.
The door to Meredith's used books is locked. Unabashed, you try knocking and are rewarded after a few moments by a friendly, large man in a sharp tweed suit. His gray hair is thinning, but his eyes twinkle with a youthful look. You explain your reason for stopping by. He takes the receipt from you and turns it over in his hands. Yes, definitely one of ours. Come in for a moment, won't you, and I'll check the ledger. Mr. Meredith leads you inside the musty-smelling shop. Shelves cover every wall and groan under the weight of printed literature. He smartly rounds the counter and pulls out a worn book. Flipping through several pages, his fingers scan the columns of names with practiced ease. Yes, here we are. Coleridge's Collected Poems, to be inscribed in calligraphy with a personal message. We charged $2.50 to the young lady in question. Yes, Martha is her name. And Edward is her betrothed, Edward Hartwell. You quickly thank Mr. Meredith and leave.
But they don't say her last
So that
name.
just kind of gave us more.
We already know her last name.
Yeah, we knew all that.
I know.
Modine.
It doesn't tell us in the book where to go.
Where's the cute guy that's usually there? He's a temp. He's not always here.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
I mean, it's kind of a rotating seat.
Let me see that. They're different.
What you gonna look for?
No. Names, places, peoples.
He didn't say where she
Do you want to
worked
look at
either.
the newspaper? What about those lights?
Where's Main Street at?
Yeah, I guess we could
What
look at the
numbers-
lights.
What
Because
numbers
that's
are
one
on
thing we
Main
haven't
Street?
really...
Because
M's.
that's the M's.
Yep.
Because that's supposed to be where a shop is, or the shop she works in. Somebody's bound to know.
Hey, Power Ranger Jenna's here. Oh wait, sorry, that's someone else.
Yeah. That's some new person.
I mean, C8 is across the street from it.
Ah!
C8.
Gift
Do we
shop
want
on
to
Main
look
Street.
there?
There's a dairy on Main Street.
There's also a bunch of other places we can check in with. The Historical Society, the Silver
a
Twilight
cafe.
Lodge.
Oh, Bell Cafe. Didn't she say something about a bell?
Oh, yeah. What was the place they were
At
supposed
the
to
Bell.
meet up?
Supposed to meet at the Bell.
at Bayfires.
Bayfriars. What's
There's
that?
a Bell Cafe on Main Street. Do you think she might work at this cafe?
Oh. What about
M42.
Bayfriars? Is there anything in the
Meaning of
Bayfriars?
life.
Silver Twilight Lodge is...
See, there's no
yeah.
Bayfires. Is there? Oh,
Hasn't been
Bayfires
mentioned.
Church. Oh, the bell at the church.
Oh.
at Bayfriars.
I think we should go there. F14 is the church.
Let's give it a go.
All right, we're moving.
So it is now day 3 evening. We have a day and a half to get this done.
Oh, no.
F14.
Mm-hmm.
Bayfriars Church has clearly been abandoned for some time. There are a number of vagrants clustered around an oil drum fire. One man spits menacingly into the fire, eyeing you with one good eye. You mingle with the vagrants, and eventually they open up. You describe the woman who was injured, and they tell you that a woman matching her description came by earlier with charitable gifts of food and clothing. I believe her name was Martha, the one-eyed man sputters. I didn't get a good look at her face on account of my one good eye.
Wow, that's it?
Uh-huh.
So we confirmed she was there. That's about it.
And she brought charitable gifts.
She brought charitable gifts. So she went. He didn't.
There's also the sanatorium. There's a speakeasy. We can still go to Armitage's place. If we need information about the privilege class or the entertainment circle, there's a person we can talk to. The guy from the newspaper, he's a reporter. The yellow cab company. The police station, where we can talk to Inspector Garrison. Can we reread what she said when first found? No. According to the rules of the game, we cannot.
Edward, stop it. Why do the trees have eyes?
They say take notes.
Yes. Speakeasies are great for getting information. It's right in the name.
Well, it's Wait, a speakeasy. Is that the where you do the little poetry thing with the snappy snappies?
No.
Oh.
What is a speakeasy then?
It's like a bar.
It's a bar, yeah. It's a
They might
hidden
do,
bar.
They might do poetry readings in
Because
there.
it's like during Prohibition. Maybe the ones
Yeah,
hidden
they
behind
could
a
be-
bookshelf and
They
stuff.
could be doing all the little, snap.
No, they
She
just
does
drink.
love poetry.
Yeah, poetry. Poems. Collective
An
poems.
illegal moonshine bar.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's located at N4.
So in the paper they say theft delays new exhibit at the University Exhibit Museum. So they call it the University Exhibit Museum. So I've been looking for that. But then they mention Dr. Robert Gladding confirmed at least one of the new artifacts on loan has disappeared. So Dr. Robert Gladding could be someone we go see. That could be something with the book.
Is he in there?
I know. Gladding. Yeah, F-27.
Do we want to go talk to him, or do we want to try to go to the
Because we can't find the actual museum.
F-27?
Miskatonic. Yeah, F-27.
Should I turn to it?
Yeah, I say go for it.
Melissa?
Weird that the museum's not in here.
Where are we going? Mr. Gladding's?
F-27 is in here.
Speakeasy.
A small apartment of Robert Gladding is currently unoccupied. A neighbor sees you knocking and tells you he is at work at the University Museum, and that's in bold.
University Museum.
Yeah, look under you.
C-27. It's under local culture. C-24. That's what we've been looking for this whole time.
C-24.
Let's save us
I'm
a
not
lot of
going to
time.
move that again because
That was, yeah.
that's where we wanted to go. All right. The University Exhibit Museum is closed, so the iron-studded doors are fastened tight. On a hunch, you head around the side of the building to the loading dock. There are several workers and a policeman lingering on the dock. The policeman is taking statements from two men dressed as watchmen. To one side, nervously pacing, is an academic type in a dust-covered suit. You approach the academic, who introduces himself as Dr. Robert Gladding, a junior curator with the museum. I can't believe this has happened. This exhibit was going to be the thing that secured me the job of senior curator. Now Richard is going to get the post for sure. As he wrings his hands, you learn that both he and Richard Jedry,
How do you spell that?
Jedry, the other junior curator, have been competing for the vacancy of a senior position. Both were given exhibits to display. A well-respected curator is arriving from Boston to present the board with his opinion as to which man should be promoted. Who would steal a 12th century ritual bowl?
No, the bowl! The bowl! The bowl stained blood red.
Yes, 12th century.
12th century bowl stolen.
Except someone wishing to sabotage my exhibit. It's not worth anything to anyone despite its age. There were very few people who even knew of the bowl's arrival. Just the University Museum staff and the staff of Rare Books and Maps.
The witches.
Rare books.
But we know it's not Jedry, so I don't even know if we need to see him. Because we know we already found the bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
What will Mr. Ingram think?
Who's Ingram?
I don't know.
Ingram?
Ingram doesn't.
N?
I-N-G-R-A-M.
It's not in.
Must be someone who is at the...
Ingram. I feel like I've seen that
The
name
coat
before.
guy.
I'd better send a message
Here, Victor
over...
Ingram.
Oh, Victor Ingram.
Oh, he's the one who's coming. The
Right.
Bostonian academic. I'd better send a message over to Bancroft Arms to let him know. That's where he is in this hotel, Bancroft Arms.
Oh, okay. Which was mentioned in the FAQ.
Arms.
With that, Gladding hurries away. So did you get Rare Books and Maps?
Rare books and maps.
And Bancroft Arms?
Bancroft Arms.
And Richard Jedry.
Richard Jedry.
Okay. So Bancroft Arms
That's where the guy from Boston is at.
is misnumbered. it should be. Let's see. It says the location N34 is misnumbered on the map. The location N24 tucked into the corner of N38 should actually be N34, the Bancroft Arms Hotel. So N34 is the actual one. Correct? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it.
What did you just say?
I know, it's confusing.
This
But I think
one
it's
right there?
N34 is the hotel.
So N24 should actually say N34?
The location N24 tucked into the corner of N38
Yes, that should be N34.
should actually be N34, the
okay.
hotel.
Well, that's if we want to talk to the guy from Boston.
True. What do we have to gain with that?
But I feel like the rare books and maps.
I wish we could find where the guy went. The
Yeah, Hartwell.
yeah.
It's gone.
The staff of Rare Books and Maps were one of the only other groups that knew the Bull's existence.
Well, what do we know? What do we know? I guess we gotta go to the pie place.
Pie. We must go to the bakery.
I think we should check out Rare Books and Maps.
Rare Books and Maps.
I mean, we already know who did it. Edward.
It was Edward.
We think?
With the blade
We just don't have all of the information yet.
and the grain seeds.
Yeah. We found the grains, I mean.
It's true, in his basement.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, let's get some more information.
So you want to go to Bancroft Arms, or you want to go to Rare Books and Maps?
Let's see. CS, missing tabby cat. SI awards. Send in
Maybe
reward
the
to
maps
D.
will lead you
Pinkman.
to the evil greenhouse.
Coffin
where
has
you'll
his
find
fingers in a lot
evil
of pies,
seeds
so to
came from.
speak. Says that right here.
What?
This guy, Coffin, has his fingers in a lot of pies.
Oh, so much talk.
Maybe the
of
maps
pies.
will lead you to an evil greenhouse where you'll find the evil seeds came from, and you'll find the cat.
Yeah, because there's a missing tabby cat here. I don't know if that's related.
Well, at this point, the seeds are just seeds. They can't
Yeah, they-
do anything to the cat.
True.
What do y'all think? Bancroft Arms or Rare Books and Maps?
Let's go check out the rare books.
Yep.
Because I don't know what that Victor guy's going to be able to tell us.
Where is that located at?
What's the name again?
Rare Books and Maps.
Rare Books and Maps. Rare Books and Maps is N24.
Oh, N24. But this is not where it's actually
But not
located.
truly that, yeah. All right.
N24. The small, wizened woman sits behind the counter at Rare Books and Maps and squints over her half-moon spectacles. You describe to her the theft from the museum. Yes, I might be able to help you with that, dear. I was asked by one of the junior curators of the museum to set aside several tomes of ancient mythology for him. He wanted to conduct additional research to make his latest exhibits ring with authenticity. You ask about the bowl that was taken from the museum, and the woman nods and pulls out a slim pamphlet titled From Punakotus to Present. P-N-A-K-O-T-U-S to present.
Mm-hmm.
That is what was taken then? They didn't tell me. Well, see here, that bowl is a cathota. C-T-H-O-T-H-A.
T-H-O-T-H-A.
Birthing dish from Central Europe, dating all the way back to the Crusades. She shows you a page with a hand-drawn pencil sketch of a bowl. It says here that the bowl is used in tribal ceremonies of certain depraved Germanic sects. S-E-C-T-S.
Right.
It is used to hold or protect a new life brought into this world through birth. Strange. It doesn't look big enough to hold a baby.
But maybe 4 grains of evil.
Yeah.
All right, we have 1 full day left, right? All right.
We can go to 3 more locations and then we're done. We have to answer the questions at that point.
Or we take point losses for everyone we go to after that.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, for everyone you go after that, you
Well,
lose a
do
point.
we ever get to look at the other side of the paper?
That's for
That's for
future.
the
The next challenge.
Oh.
Yeah. That's for days from now. Or months.
Cheryl, it was aimed at a lot of people. Let's say that. What happened to Hedge's pictures?
Well, you know Hedge's pictures. If he's not involved, he doesn't care.
You think he left?
Yeah, I think he left. Absolutely, he left.
Hedge's pictures, if you're out there. Hi.
Ain't no way. All right. Come on. You know. So, what do we have left to check out?
We could go to that other hotel
We could go to the
to
thing.
talk to the guy from Boston.
Or we can go to the manor with the lights.
I say we go to
Oh,
the
yeah.
bakery and have some pie.
Or the bakery to have pie.
Yeah, we could check out C8 to see if there's a manse there.
So, what would they say? Something about, the manse. Manse. Emperor Manse. Emperor. No. How about Manse? Is that in here? No. Alright. Emperor Manse is not in here. We can go to the YMCA,
On this day at the
considering a boarding house. Or we can go to Rennie's boarding house, which is at F16.
We've been there already. That's where she lives.
Oh, right,
This,
the other one, the
birth
other one,
announcements about this birthing dish. Last night saw the birth of twins.
Where's
For
the other
not
guy?
just one family, but 3. That's 6 babies. Congrats to the Smiths, Factors, and Aos.
What was the guy?
Families added 6
Where was
more
he
members
staying?
to our community.
The guy,
Yeah.
he's staying at Inn something. What was it called? Bancroft Arms.
Bancroft, that's it. That's not even listed under the boarding
Remember,
houses.
it's in the FAQ.
Oh, right. Oh, right, that's the N34. Let's do it.
You want to go there?
Yeah,
In 34.
it's not in the
Alright.
checklist. Yeah, that makes sense. He doesn't hang around unless he's involved, so.
The Bancroft Arms Hotel is the kind of establishment you wouldn't associate with a visiting academic. It is strange to you that someone of apparent high standing at the Boston Museum would be willing to hang his hat in such a cheap hotel. Stepping into the poorly lit lobby, you ring the bell. It is answered eventually by a sweating man in a stained shirt. Without looking at you, he snorts and pushes the ledger in your direction. We only have single beds, 90 cents a night. You push aside the ledger and ask him about Victor Ingram. He protests about the anonymity of his clientele, and you slam your palm down violently on the desk, insisting you're a friend of Victor's there to retrieve his belongings. This simple intimidation tactic has the desired effect. He tosses you a pass key and mutters, "Room 29, why don't you clean up the mess while you're up there?" Room 29 is in such a state that it must have been vacated in a hurry. You search every nook and cranny, and under the mattress you find a sheaf of notepaper. The paper seems to be text, hand-copied from a book. You find page after page of neatly copied entries. The pages describe a ritual of the cult of Shub-Niggurath. A very gruesome act to bring a spawn into our world using a grain of seed consumed by a human.
So,
Once the spawn is incubated in the host, it will eventually be cut free and released.
Oh, the gasp!
The host is then sacrificed, and the blood of the victim used to nourish the spawn. A few of the pages reveal sketches of artifacts used in the ritual. You suppose a museum curator may know something about these drawings.
Like this.
so do we think he's involved?
Yes! But the other museum curator. Remember there was a second museum curator?
Yeah.
Something like this.
With a J.
A bowl, a dagger, 4 seeds.
What was his name?
Jedry.
Jedry.
Richard Jedry.
F54, if we want to visit him. And there's also the lab assistant that has the sludge, but I don't know if that's what.
In the library.
Forgot
Who
about
was
that
he?
one. At the very beginning,
Yeah.
the lab,
Visit library, lab assistant.
lab assistant at the library was another option.
Well, we can do both, and then we'll be out of time.
All right.
See, what's a shot?
So Jedry,
Yeah.
Jedry.
that was
Because we already talked to the other one.
F54. Yeah, we talked to the other one already. So it is morning of day 5. We have till the afternoon.
F54.
So we have to turn in this project.
Richard Jedry is an amiable man in his late 20s, dressed in a bohemian manner. He tells you that he had nothing to do with the missing artifact. You further note that he appears sincere about Gladding's distress. He confirms that the judge of the exhibit competition was to be Mr. Victor Ingram from the Boston Museum.
And that's it.
All right, to the lab assistant.
Well, that didn't do much. So the lab assistant's at the library?
I couldn't find
The
that.
library.
Oh, you couldn't find the library? Maybe it's under local culture like the other thing.
You would think it'd be under Miskatonic, because it was the Miskatonic Library,
Right,
wasn't it?
University. Line. Liberal Arts Building. No. Library. Library.
Well, my thoughts is that poor little Martha was used as the human sacrifice
Yep.
and planted with the
But
seeds.
she got rescued before the sacrifice happened.
You rescued her?
I don't know, but she got saved.
Yeah.
Maybe Edward saved her.
I just wish we could have found him.
They're all involved, Cheryl says.
Day 5 feels like a Monday. Yeah, it is. I think it is a Monday. We have the weekend and
Paranoia. I say we all
So
go
we
get
have-
some pie.
finish it out with pie.
Yep, let's just all go get some pie.
Well, they wouldn't have told us to go check out that library guy if he wasn't someone we can go talk to.
Yeah, I mean, it was bolded, so. It said University Library, if I recall. What it said.
LP, it must not happen again. Down and RJ know what this means.
RJ. Do we have any RJ names?
Richard Jedry.
Oh, you're right. LP, it must not happen again. Down and RJ. Know what this means. It's a personal ad. I don't know what that means though. Final clues in the bakery. Y'all going to feel really bad. That would be funny.
I told y'all we
It
needed
says
to have
the
pie.
Miskatonic University Orne Library, ORNE.
ORNE. ORNE. There is an Orne Library at C23.
You want to go there?
Yeah, there's actually a couple Orns, but yeah, that must be a street name.
C20.
We're trying to figure out just anything else that we don't know what questions they're going to ask at the end of this. So we're just trying to get all the information we can. Because at the end, it asks us a bunch of questions, and that really determines our points at the end, is if we learned enough.
All right, we're at C23.
Yes.
Probably should have started. Probably should have started here.
There we go.
You come across Miss Sargent. I didn't understand
Miss
it was
Sargent.
a lady.
Alright.
Amongst the stacks in the Oran Library. Don't tell me old Armitage has got you working on a Sunday, she says with a grin. What is it you
day
need
5
from
was a
our
Sunday.
repository today? You explain the nature of your visit, and your request is met with a curious look. It's funny you should say that, because the hospital has me working on something that came out of a patient. I've had to move on to some of our more esoteric volumes after I drew a blank. Come on, I'll show you where I've got up to. Miss Sargent leads you up a narrow flight of stairs through a door marked Restricted No Entry, and into the restricted reading room. The librarian crosses to a heavy reading table made of solid oak and shows you an ancient tome resting there.
I wrote the marker, yeah.
This is the dreaded De Vermis Mysterious, written by the German von Prin. I'm working on a translation in my spare time. Her finger wavers over a page, shaking nervously. Here, the book speaks about a mucus residue being a byproduct of ritual sacrifice. The book also speaks of the guardians of occult ritual, horrible monster called the Dark Young of Shub-Niggurath. Hold on, I know another book that references these things. The librarian moves to the shelf and hefts down another tome with the title
The Necronomicon.
Ebon, E-I-B-O-N.
E-I-B-O-N.
Embossed in gold upon its spine. She flips gently through the pages. Here is a story of the creatures called the Dark Young of Shub-Niggurath, about a Teutonic knight in the 12th century who led a band of villagers into battle against the evil living in the forest. Ever their praises, and abundance to the black goat of the woods. Ya, Shub-Niggurath, ya, Shub-Niggurath, the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young.
Yeah.
I-A with an umlaut. The Shub are the height of 4 men. Let's see, this text roughly translates, they're able to stand perfectly still and lurk in the shadows of trees, as if blending, waiting upon its prey, and attacking with tentacles that sprout from their heads. Miss Sargent pauses, hand over her mouth. Well, they sound frankly disgusting. I assume this is a variation on the Grendel myth in the Beowulf saga.
For as much text as that was, I mean, what did we really learn?
We learned about the eyes in the trees.
Yep.
Oh,
The
right.
height of 4 men.
The Shub are hanging out in the trees.
That's why she was mentioning the trees.
Why did these
So the
trees
lights-
have eyes?
In the manor on the 3rd floor, could that be part of the trees?
I don't know what that is.
Eyes of trees. Edward, stop it! Stop it!
3rd floor is up high.
Maybe
So
it's
now
like,
we need to, I mean, the old wooded graveyard.
We can keep researching, but it's going to cost us points if we do that. We can check this building across the street from the hospital and see if there's anything there.
So that's the building that they were talking about.
Maybe.
I wish they had a reverse thing so I can, look it up by the numbers like that. Take forever to look it up that way. So C means campus.
So was she yelling, Edward, stop it, as in stop that thing that's happening, or Edward, stop doing that?
Edward, stop it! She said Edward first and then stop it.
Stop it. Stop that thing.
Well, should we try to answer the questions? Or do you think we're ready?
Chat, are we ready to answer the questions, or should we keep investigating?
It'll cost us points to keep investigating, but I think
Charles, I'm helping.
We love it. Thank you.
Should we go and get some pie?
We'll check the pie after we've concluded our investigation.
Yes, we must figure out about this crusty individual.
Crusty
A hell of a man.
Whiskey Nick, I'm not helping whatsoever. Ready to turn to the questions?
I think we're ready, yeah. Let's do it.
So what do I do? Just
I
turn
think we
back
got
here.
this.
Oh, okay.
Oh dear.
There are 12 questions.
Oh Lord.
Oh my goodness, this is not about to go well, you guys.
I didn't study.
Oh my god, how the heck? Okay. So you're gonna put like 1 to 12 and put our answers for each one. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so number 1, what is the
We're
name?
chilling at the bakery.
What is the
Bye.
name of the
Slowly.
woman who collapsed in the street?
Martha
Modine.
Modine.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Is it
Number
you said
2.
One down.
D-I-N-E?
Modine. Yeah.
M-O-D-I-N-E. Number 2.
Who was the suspicious character that made a quick exit from the scene of the crime?
Edward Hartwell.
Correct. Oh, Eddie. Pie-eating Eddie.
Pie-eating,
Yeah,
crusty
Matthew's great
individual.
grandma. Matthew Modine.
Number 3. How did the woman come by her injury?
I think the seed.
They were taking the
yeah.
seed out of her
Yeah.
chest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the seed. Yeah.
She tripped and fell.
The seed out of her chest.
Number 4.
Yeah.
What is the danger in the park? The shrubs and the trees.
Right.
Oh, the shrubs and the trees.
The
She
shrubs.
was running with scissors. A horrible peeler accident while making pie. Yes, the goat dude, exactly.
Goat
The
dudes.
shrubs and the trees.
Number 5. What was stolen from the museum?
The
The bowl.
bowl.
My heart. No. The bowl.
The bowl.
Number 6. Who is the out-of-town cultist of Shub Niggurath?
Mr. Victor Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Victor Ingram.
Travis. Yeah, that's accurate. Travis is the out-of-town person.
Oh, we've got a lot of problems coming up.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
Questions about
I was-
things we have no idea what they
I was
even
feeling
are.
so confident.
Number 7. Why did the cat hiss at the wall on East Saltonstall Street?
Oh,
Because
because
of
the
the-
domestic.
Because of the seeds.
Yes.
Yeah, because of the seeds.
So we got that one.
Uh-huh. I hope you're happy.
That's more than 50%.
Yeah, we passed. I think maybe. The wall stole its food.
Yeah. That's the only reason a cat gets upset.
Number 8. Who did the hospital workers see on the top floor of the Emperor home? Who did the workers see up there with the lights flashing?
We never went.
I know.
There were just lights dancing.
Edward Hart. Let's put Edward.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think it was Edward
Yeah.
as well.
I think that's a pretty logical.
All right. Number
Batman,
9.
Edward Hartwell.
It wasn't me.
What was Barclay Rutger up to?
It's all shenanigans, I guess.
Who is that?
Wait, Barclay Rutger. Let's see if I wrote anything.
Barclay Rutger. Who? Yeah.
Exactly my thoughts.
Wait.
This is the same thing that happened when we played Sherlock Holmes.
it's like,
We were like, what?
We have an Inspector
Who
Garrison.
ate the pie?
We have a Watley's in Dunwich.
He was a burglar?
There's some.
He was up to
Dr.
shenanigans.
No Yes? Maybe he's Dr. No. No, wait. What's the question again?
What was Barclay Rutger up to?
Barclay Rutger.
I don't have an answer for that. Just put
Wait.
question mark or
Let me
something.
see if I
Who's
can.
the one I
He was eating pie at the bakery.
Oh, there you go. Up to no good.
Up to no good. Wait, maybe
Nice
can we look at
blanket
this
statement.
newspaper?
We're done looking at stuff. We
Oh,
cannot.
we can't.
We cannot look at anything now,
But I can
except
still
for
look
our
at the
notes.
Okay. Barclay Rutger.
Was he the store owner? No, that was that twin guy.
That was Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine.
I don't remember the name Barclay Rutger at all.
I don't either.
So let's just put
Robert
whatever.
Graves, Richard.
Let's proceed. We've got more of these.
Yeah, we
Wait,
got more.
maybe he was the sweaty man at the cheap hotel.
So he was working at the hotel?
Maybe he works at the pie shop.
Works at the pie shop.
Works at the pie
He's
shop.
baking the baked goods.
Baking the.
Yeah.
Wait.
All right,
he's
number
baking-
10.
he's- All right.
I'm sure
Cheryl. Cheryl.
Speakeasy.
He's baking the baked goods.
Yeah.
He's
baking brownies.
he's baking brownies.
What?
He's baking brownies.
Who's the guy
in
from Boston? That was
the pie
Victor. What's his face?
Yeah,
Victor Ingram.
Victor Ingram.
He's baking brownies in the pie shop.
What was the name of the late night graveyard visitor?
Bob.
Bob the visitor.
Let's go with that. Let's go with Bob.
Hey, how about Rutger? Whatever his
Yeah,
name
the
Barclay.
Rutger guy. Yeah,
Barclay Rutger.
Okay,
is.
Barclay.
Or Edward Hartwell.
Barclay Rutger.
All right, number 11.
Wait, is it Rutger? I don't know.
Bob.
Why?
Oh,
Why
Bobby
did
and
the
Victor.
late night graveyard visitor visit at night? And what was he doing?
The
Oh
ritual.
my
He
God.
was. He visited night for the ritual.
Okay, I like it.
For the ritual.
For the ritual.
What do you want
Yeah.
from me?
And last
the
word,
ritual.
For the ritual.
number 12. What is the word scrawled all over the emperor home? We never figured out how to get to the emperor home.
Wait. Oh, the trees. Maybe something about the trees. The trees have
Ritual
eyes.
something.
Go for it.
Why do the trees have eyes?
All right, let's see how we
All
did.
right, wait. Why do
Wash me.
the trees have eyes?
All right. I think we did pretty good until the end.
Also, wash me.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
All right,
no
number
more
1. Who was the woman? Martha Modine. That's 3 points for us.
Yay.
Number 2. Who was a suspicious character who made an exit from the scene of the crime? Edward Hartwell. That's 5
Ooh,
points.
5 bucks, yay.
Red room. Rob.
How did the woman come by her injury? Number 3. The ritual extraction of the spawn of Shub Niggurath. 5 points. We got
Take that.
Points.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, what is the danger in the park? If you said a tree that comes alive, that's worth 1. Or if you knew the name of the creature, a dark young, which is a shub, 3 points.
3 points we get.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shrubs and
The
trees.
shrubs and trees.
Number 5, what was stolen from the museum? A ritual bowl, a Kathotha birthing dish, 2
I
points.
just put bowl.
Yeah, bowl.
Yeah. The bowl.
I didn't know we were getting graded on accuracy.
Am I graded for spelling?
Who is the out-of-town cultist? Mr. Ingram, 2
Yay,
points.
2 points.
Why did the cat hiss? It was sensing the seeds of Shub Niggurath in Edward's basement, 1 point.
1 point. Good. Okay, I think 8 we got.
This is where things go bad.
But it seems like the points are dropping, so that's good.
Who did the hospital workers see? Members of the Silver Twilight Lodge.
Oh no,
2
someone
points.
mentioned that.
We got that wrong.
Wait,
Oh,
we lose 2
no.
points?
No, we don't get 2
Oh,
points. What was
Told you that
Barclay?
place was spooky. Exactly.
What was Barclay Rutger up to? He was drinking with his friends on the unvisited Isle.
What? I was told he was baking brownies in that pie shop. I was misinformed.
That would have been worth 3 points if we'd gotten that. But we didn't.
Someone mentioned the unvisited isle too.
Dang it.
It's like, wait a second, when did these come up?
What was the name of the late night visitor to the graveyard? Thomas Ilsley.
Oh, that twin.
What twin?
Thomas.
Oh right, we found.
The twin to the something.
We talked to one of the people,
Reese,
and he was a
Leach
twin.
Street, Reese's 30s, mop of black hair.
His twin was Thomas.
Thomas.
Why would we go see his twin? I don't see why.
All right. Why did he
The guy that
visit?
sounded like a mobster. That's right.
Why did he visit at night, and what was he doing? He suffers from insomnia and was conducting research for a book.
Why the heck would we question him as part of this?
What is the word on the emperor home? Nyarlathotep. Which
Oh
is,
right, which means.
Translates to wash me.
If you visited Uptown Park, where you would have encountered a dark young, lose 1 point for mental trauma.
Oh wow.
Did we?
Count the number of locations you traveled, unless the location did not contain an actual written encounter. Deduct 1 point for every location you traveled beyond 7.
Right.
Well, that's
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Oh,
One of
I didn't
those
know we
didn't
could
have a
stop
thingy.
early.
One of
Well,
those
yes,
didn't have
we
a
would
thing.
have,
The witch
but-
house.
Yeah,
didn't
one
have
didn't,
anything.
so it would be 12.
Okay.
So, deduct 1 point for every, so
that's
deduct
calling
5
chaos.
points, so minus 5.
Oh, we lost our Edward Hartwell.
Armitage was able to answer most questions by visiting 7 locations.
Liar.
So what's our final score, Melissa?
3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16.
Did you subtract the 5 or
I
whatever?
scratched that 5 out.
16?
That's
12 plus
16.
points? You win!
16.
We won!
We passed!
On the
Just
following
following around
page,
the
you may view the
squad.
locations that Armitage visited.
Okay, so where did he visit?
If we'd had
Seven
less than
ass.
12, he would have said we were an amateur. Oh, if you scored over 18 points.
So have we not lost something? Like,
Right, if we would've been-
something?
Yeah.
And we
If
kinda threw
we'd
away
done
the
that,
rest.
he would have said you've done quite well. And we would have done a supplemental encounter.
Okie dokie.
It says the dangers, twists, and turns will increase in investigation 2.
So what 7 locations did he visit?
So here,
Did he go to the pastry shop?
I can just tell you, but there's also some flavor text if you want to read it.
I think it went to the
No,
pastry
just-
shop.
I
He
think
went to
we're-
the hospital, the library, the University Exhibit Museum, Pasquale Fenton, Herbert Corbett, the criminologist, which we did not go to. Oh, yes, we did.
Yeah, we did. I thought we did.
We went to all these places. Rennie's boarding house and Edward Hartwell's house.
We went to all those. Yeah.
Yes, we did. We went to all of them.
So how did he find out all this information about the
Well, it says he was able to answer most of the questions.
So he scored about the same and then he quit. That's what it was.
Yeah, he quit while he was ahead. So do you want to?
So he got like 21 points.
starting there.
In the end, a simple mystery. Back in Armitage's office, you feel the legwork of the week was far from simple. Garrison, reclining near the open window in a leather wing-back chair, gives you a look that implies he agrees with you. Garrison says, I forgot what Garrison's voice was, but here we go.
I don't think we've seen him yet.
Okay. There was the question of the woman's identity to wrestle with Henry. That seems like the most pertinent fact that we were missing from the start. Armitage nods. Indeed. That was the forefront in my mind as well. Inspector, and once I had visited her room at Rennie's boarding house, I was able to put a name to our young lady, Miss Martha Modine. Garrison looks perplexed. What on earth led you up to French Hill to the Rennie house? Armitage grins. Alas, Inspector, so wrapped up were your officers in door-to-door solicitations over the identity of the young lady, they neglected her possessions. Her receipt from the boarding house clearly showed that she had intended to stay there for another month. This then led me to the fiend Hartwell and his lair, so clean and tidy. Garrison shrugs grudgingly, an admission that a focus on surrounding streets was the wrong call given the circumstances. Well, what the heck happened to her? Why did that villain Hartwell attack the woman he professed to love? That, Inspector, perhaps we will never fully comprehend. Mr. Edward Hartwell had a love greater than the one he professed to hold for Martha. There was a special bond between the two, but Edward was held thrall to dark powers beyond our world. The rantings he uttered upon his arrest were testament to that. His love for the unspeakable evil of Shub-Niggurath outweighed even his fondness for the lovely Miss Modine. He must have been planning it for some time, slipping one of those damnable seeds into Martha's food, where it wriggled its way into her chest cavity, there to grow and feed on her like a parasite. Martha was the unknowing host of the evil inside her. I must admit, that weasel Pascal was some use there, and it confirmed what I had learned from reading Ebon in the library. A lingering memory of his feelings for Martha must have prompted Edward in remorse to redress her and lay her out to expire rather than complete the prescribed sacrifice. It is likely that secretions of the spawn, that foul mucus, stayed the blood flow for a short time and dulled the pain. As the influence of the spawn waned after its removal, it is clear Martha awoke and was able to stagger back to the street to try and find help. Garrison interjects suddenly. Why the attack in the park then? Suddenly he was taking a risk in such a public place. Armitage pauses, then knowingly responds. It would seem the ritual needed to be overseen by a watcher, a dark young Shub-Niggurath's blasphemous child. Where could one of these creatures hide in Arkham but a heavily wooded park? He needed to conduct the ritual outside. What risk was there in the overgrown part of Uptown Park? With a slice and a snap of bones, he was able to free the unholy spawn and store it in the Kothala birthing dish that was taken from the museum. That is, until he could transfer it to a more secure bindings and hand it off to his friend Victor Ingram. It is a shame that you missed him, Inspector. Garrison nods at the suitcase next to Armitage's desk, the twinkle back in his eye. A shame. Seems like you and I have a trip to make in the morning. Unfinished business. Shh.
That's the end. What did you guys think about that?
Thanks so much for watching this video from iHeartBoard Games. Please take a second to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social medias at /HeartBoardGames. You can also check out some of our other videos right here or right here. Go ahead, click them. It's fun.